New Moon Rising, Buck Creek, Wisconsin. This late night sky, July, has stripped light from the valley like a comforter of clover sod and billowed it, exposing bedrock contours as inviting as the swoon of thighs. Come hither, darling, to this place you've always known. Nile seed is spangled, wind-born, destined as the pulse of fireflies through the vault of fluttered birch and stars. Who knows the constellations, darling? Venus rising toward Orion on his melancholy watch, or Delphine shimmering her brave regrets. There is a chime, my love. There is a breeze, and starlight sows the crevices and seas. We know the rest. From my first wife, I learned of history's sprawl. My stories jounced across the prairie. From my second wife, I earned the poet's carborundum stone. My stories bore toward Middle Earth and lofted skyward. With my firstborn daughter, I relived the theater's slatted hush. With my second daughter, I revived the brass of pallid cadmium and indigo on unbleached linen. Stories gathered shadows from the stone proscenium. Stories borrowed bloodroot from the snows of March. Our side of the bed. Hand awakes me, hand absorbs me. Bark of plane trees, sunlight on chenille. Sen in January, shiver of thaw. Waters parting, Ile de la Sette. Waters plunging, echo of Pont Neuf. Seen from above, seen from below. Seen from above, seen from below. Heron rising, gasp of bass. River surging, suck of breath. Seine, 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 Seine. Arch of bridge of Giverny. Teapot steeping, apricot gelée. Balcony at Étretat, mottle of dove. Forensic. The Arno is shoaly, the waiters are surly, and giggly, gaggly, daughters of gypsies are pleased with their fays and plucking me clean, an upstart inception for two just beginning, though seasoned. We weather it gamely, we clasp at let's wait and we'll see. We circumscribe plazas, we trudge to the hilltops, we prowl all the gardens and alleys of cradling memory, finally consoling, consented, we strum through the night to first light. And there in a cloudburst, a sunburst, 10 troubadours chirping and grinning, the Duomo aglow in festoon in the morning delight. Sorcery. My grandmother embarrassed us all. For one thing, she bet on the numbers. For another thing, she bet on the numbers she saw in her dreams, street addresses, the weight of a pork chop, that sort of thing. And worse, she won, big time, and subsequently. Her sons would not discuss it. Her daughters brewed complaint, grandma in tatters and flame. Add to that, she hugged a lot, with such a flex of love she farted. Even in restaurants. Also in restaurants, she gathered all the soggy Wonder Bread and margarine. This was in the war years when my grandma saw my cousin in a yellow raft before his cruiser sank like lava soap. When food was rationed frugally as gasoline or rubber, and my grams would scrape the table for the road ahead. She conjured all our hungers. Then one Saturday she shrieked. So vivid was her vision on the switchback, fog-blind mountain drive to Chambersburg. Pull over, everyone eat! As a downhill semi sheared the granite outcrop, hurtled past, and with a caterwauling wail of air brakes, air horn, sailed beyond the guardrail toward the blue mist chasm and the hurly-burly grave we'd known as home. February is the month when most give up the ghost I've learned the hard way. Grief like split wide, bleeding feet and souls that even calloused flesh can scarcely shield. I yield no memory of my mother's breasts or nourishment. I know, although her helpless foot lifts up to nuzzle patient fingers like the puppies of my childhood. On this arid winter morning, with the slant light streaming through her argent windows. My mother's Milltown, Pennsylvania childhood was a sooty, bleak affair, remembered brightly as a spank of sunny sheets on sagging clothesline, though her memory of last night's bingo, Sunday's sing-along, or Friday's breaded cod is fragile. Pinched, confusion reigns. She wobbles hallways, always cold as shoulder pain. Mid-back, she has a pale, sebaceous cyst that she can neither twist to touch nor dares to see, but sometimes smiles when I express a son's inept concern, or sometimes hums a tune. We'll build a stairway to the stars. When I remind her that her mother died at 48 of ether overdose, the white sheet veiling stricken face like towel on rising strudel dough. Or that her father, in a swoon of grief, resettled in Ohio, where he shacked for years in Ashtabula marshland with no neighbor, friend, or family, but raised a Guernsey that he milked for home and pocket cash and beckoned in from sage grass pasture with a bugle blast as doleful as the wail of prophets, without namesake, without honor, in the numbing land. Riding lower, let me count the ways. 1, your purr from shed. 2, your moody sputter stall. 3, your hug of sideways pitch and sway, embraced. Your muscle up the slope and sprawl through swale. 5, your throaty roar and glide. Forgive, forbear the ragged sedge, my sweet. Your swath transforming verdigris to hush of pear. 7, your little wheels. 8, your boom boom wheels. Your din of fortitude and silence, yet entreaties gleeful for the morrow, and tomorrow solemn patience. Rest a while, your grief I love, when sadly I abandoned thee. Your fragile sorrow, like the scent of brome, when shorn at last, I swell the fragrant Timothy.